What's that classic BG's hit again? Oh yeah, staying alive. That's exactly what the Golden State Warriors just managed to do. In the face of mounting pressure and elimination staring them down, they stayed alive. And not just barely. They pulled off a commanding win in Game 7 against the Houston Rockets, finishing with a score of 103-89. A huge moment for the franchise, and honestly, for fans of playoff basketball in general. The kind of do-or-die matchup where every possession feels like it's loaded with consequence, and the Warriors came out like a team that knew exactly what was at stake. It wasn't pretty all the way through, but when it mattered most, they locked in. Let's break this down, because there's so much to unpack from that game. We'll get into all the tactical stuff, the emotional moments, the individual heroics, because make no mistake, there were plenty. But we also need to keep our eyes on what's coming next, because the road ahead doesn't get any easier. The Warriors have no time to celebrate. After that brutal 7-game stretch, they get just one day off before heading up to Minnesota to face the Timberwolves in the semifinals of the Western Conference. That's a quick turnaround, and it's already shaping up to be a grind of series. The Timberwolves are being viewed as the slight favorites going into Game 1, and when you consider how physically and emotionally draining a Game 7 could be, plus the added travel, it makes sense that the experts are leaning that way. But before we even start thinking too far ahead, we need to fully appreciate what just happened against Houston. This wasn't just a win. This was a statement. Game 7 performances always tend to elevate unlikely heroes, and this time was no different. One player, who had only 4 points total in the entire series leading up to this final matchup, exploded for 33 points. That's not just bouncing back, that's rewriting the narrative. He went from invisible to essential, from afterthought to X factor, and those kinds of performances are what make the playoffs so unforgettable. Sure, a lot of those shots were wide open, but you still have to knock them down. And Golden State, as a whole, wasn't hitting those kinds of looks earlier in the series. But in Game 7, they came alive, shooting 42% from beyond the arc. That's a winning number in any context. But even with that shooting spike, the real challenge all series long was on the glass. Rebounding was a theme, and Houston had dominated that category in the previous 6 games. In Game 6, Golden State got out-rebounded by 14, and their offensive rebounding was nearly non-existent. But something changed in Game 7. They didn't suddenly become dominant on the boards, but they found ways to neutralize Houston's attack in the half-court. The Warriors rolled out a few zone looks that clearly threw Houston off their rhythm. It wasn't just about grabbing every missed shot. It was about disrupting Houston's flow. And that they did. And can we talk about the energy? You could feel it from tip-off. There was something different about the way they came out, and we later found out why. In the post-game press conference, one of the Warriors players shared that the team held a deeply emotional meeting before the game. This wasn't your usual locker room pep talk. According to the players, it was a heartfelt, raw, soul-searching kind of gathering. One veteran called it the most powerful meeting he's ever been part of, and you could tell that it left an imprint on the squad. That emotional spark translated into hustle plays, grit, defensive intensity, all the intangibles that never show up on the stat sheet, but always tilt the scales in the playoffs. And speaking of defense, one player in particular made it his personal mission to shut down one of Houston's biggest scoring threats. After struggling earlier in the series, he bounced back with a vengeance. He didn't just put up points, he anchored the perimeter defense and was instrumental in forcing Houston into difficult shots. His individual matchup held the opposing star to just 2 free throws for the entire game, down from the dozen he was getting earlier in the series. That kind of clamped-down effort is what wins Game 7s. But let's not forget the offensive fireworks either. One player came out firing in the first half and dropped 22 points before the break, setting the tone at a time when one of Golden State's marquee stars was having a rough shooting night. It was like he sensed a moment and stepped right into it. Then in the second half, another vet took over, racking up rebounds, pushing the pace, distributing dimes, and eventually hitting a dagger 3 with less than 3 minutes to go. That all but sealed it. You know those shots that make you jump out of your seat? That was one of them. And when he's on, when the lights are brightest, he just knows how to deliver. Let's also give some props to the Iron Men of this squad. guys who've been battling injuries but still logged heavy minutes. One player, who's been dealing with a nagging lower body issue all series long, managed to stay on the floor and still contribute significantly on both ends. His numbers won't jump off the page, but the effort? It was all heart. He hit some incredibly difficult shots, like into the shot clock, leaning back kind of stuff, and made key defensive plays when it mattered most. That kind of grit is what Golden State basketball is all about. Then there's Draymond. From the opening whistle, he brought the fire. 8 points in the first quarter. It wasn't just the scoring. It was the tone he set. That fearless drive to the rim, the pull-up three in rhythm. It signaled to everyone watching that Draymond was locked in. And when Draymond is engaged offensively, the entire team feeds off it. He ended up launching 8 three-pointers in that game, which is not something you see every night, but in this context, it worked. Defensively, he was just a monster. He covered ground, challenged shots at the rim, rotated perfectly in help defense, and even took on the assignment of guarding Houston's hottest hand at times. The Warriors threw up a wall in the paint that Houston just couldn't break through. This was a team that had been struggling to get stops throughout the series, but in Game 7, it was a different story. They tightened up, played connected, and refused to give up easy buckets. And all that defensive cohesion stemmed from Draymond's leadership. He's the emotional anchor, the defensive quarterback, and once again, he delivered when it counted. Now, one thing that still needs to improve moving forward is the shooting from the supporting cast. Opponents are daring these guys to hit open threes, and in the early games of this series, they just weren't cashing in. That changed a bit in Game 7, but consistency is going to be key. Because let's face it, this league is all about shot making. At the end of the day, it's hit or miss. If those wide open looks from the corner or the top of the arc don't fall, the defense will collapse on your stars, and the entire offense bogs down. So, these role players need to step up. Looking ahead, there are so many layers to this next series against Minnesota. On paper, the Timberwolves are the fresher team. They closed out their series early and have had time to rest, regroup, and scout. But Golden State has momentum and experience. This core has been through more playoff battles than almost anyone else in the league. They know what it takes. But Minnesota is no joke. This is a team with elite rim protection, a dangerous perimeter attack, and a defensive scheme that's been among the best all year long. They're physical, they're deep, and they have the tools to make life miserable for someone like Steph Curry. Speaking of Steph, he's about to face a defensive unit that has multiple long, athletic bodies to throw at him. Guys like McDaniels, Edwards, Alexander Walker. These are players who can switch, contest, and fight through screens. But here's the thing about Steph. He's seen it all before. You can trap him, chase him off the line, hedge hard on pick and rolls. But if he gets even a sliver of daylight, it's game over. What's going to be fascinating is how Golden State tries to manipulate Minnesota's drop coverage. Rudy Gobert is an elite rim protector, no doubt, but he can be exposed in certain matchups, especially in high pick and rolls with a sniper like Steph. If Gobert sits back, Steph pulls up. If he steps out, the Warriors have the kind of quick ball movement that can lead to open layups or corner threes. It's going to be a chess match, and Game 1 is going to set the tone. But the biggest key might not be strategy, it might be composure. Turnovers have been a problem for Golden State all year, and the split between their wins and losses often comes down to how well they protect the ball. In their 3 losses against Houston, they averaged 5 more turnovers per game compared to their 4 wins. In Game 7, they only gave it away 6 times. That's the blueprint. Slow it down when necessary, push when the moment's right, but above all, take care of the basketball. We'll talk more in the next section about how these two teams match up statistically, what Golden State needs to clean up, and what it's going to take to get past a Timberwolves squad that's been red hot in these playoffs. But for now, Game 7 was a triumph. The kind of game that reminds you why you love basketball. A win earned through resilience, teamwork, and a whole lot of heart. Before we continue, make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel so you won't miss any exclusive Dubs updates. Let's keep going. In recent weeks, rumors have begun to circulate surrounding one of the NBA's most iconic players, Stephen Curry. Known for his extraordinary skill on the court and his leadership role with the Golden State Warriors, Curry has remained a fixture in the spotlight for more than a decade. However, whispers have started to surface about his personal life, suggesting that the superstar might be going through some difficult times off the court. While nothing has been officially confirmed, the speculation has left many fans and analysts wondering about the potential impact on the Warriors and the player himself. Curry, who has led the Warriors to multiple championships, is renowned for his resilient spirit and ability to perform under pressure. His dazzling shooting ability, coupled with his commitment to the team, has made him a favorite in the league. Yet, behind the scenes, it appears that the challenges he faces might be affecting his usual aura of invincibility. According to sources close to the player, Curry has been dealing with a combination of personal issues, including the demands of his career and the toll it has taken on his mental and emotional well-being. Although the rumors remain unsubstantiated, there are reports suggesting that Curry has been feeling the weight of expectations both on and off the court. The Warriors' recent struggles, including their inconsistent performance during the season, have added to the pressure that Curry already carries as the team's cornerstone. Fans and experts alike have noticed that his typically infectious energy and focus seem somewhat diminished in recent games. Some even speculate that the constant media scrutiny and the off-court responsibilities that come with being one of the NBA's biggest stars may be taking a toll on the three-time NBA champion. While no official statement has been made by Curry or the Warriors organization, the whispers of difficulty come at a time when the team is also trying to adjust to a rapidly evolving NBA landscape. With the departure of key players and the integration of younger talents into the mix, the Warriors have faced growing pains, and Curry's leadership is perhaps more critical than ever. There's a growing sense that the challenges facing the team may be a reflection of the personal battles Curry is said to be encountering. Mental health and well-being are increasingly becoming focal points in the world of professional sports, and Curry has always been an advocate for personal growth and resilience. His openness about his faith, his family, and his charitable endeavors has inspired many. But like any athlete, he is not immune to the pressures that come with being in the public eye. The combination of balancing a demanding career with personal life challenges can take a heavy toll on anyone, and Curry is no exception. For now, fans continue to rally behind the Warriors' leader, hoping that he can find the balance he needs to return to his usual dominant form. While the rumors remain just that, rumors, it's clear that Stephen Curry's ability to overcome adversity, both on and off the court, will continue to be tested in the coming months. Regardless of the personal struggles he may be facing, his legacy as one of the greatest players of all time remains firmly intact, and the basketball world eagerly awaits to see what's next for Curry and his Warriors. Stay updated exclusively with the latest Dub Nation news. Subscribe to our channel and hit the like button to keep getting daily updates on the Warriors. Don't forget to share your thoughts in the comments. Your input is essential for the Dubs community. Stay tuned for the next video.